abo abamujjukira Allah kiba kyengera okulondayo mu abo bonna baba akulonzeemu n'abeera ng'akuwa omutima ogujjukira nti olina okujja obeere mu abo abamusinza kuba teri nsonga ndala yonna yatutonza okujjako okubeera nga tusinza Allahu subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ng'ebitonde tubaamu n'okwerabira olw'ebintu bingi bye tuyitamu mu bulamu buno obw'ensi. Ebintu bye tuyitamu mu bulamu bw'ensi oluusi bitwerabiza ekigendererwa kyaffe lwaki Allahu subhanahu wa ta'ala yatutonda n'atussa mu bulamu buno obw'ensi. Nabwekityo baganda bange tebubemazaamu obulamu bw'edduniya ne butwerabiza ekigendererwa lwaki Allahu subhanahu wa ta'ala yatwera ng'akola ki ng'atutonda. Allah ng'amaze otutonda ne tukola bye tukoze yabeera nga atuwa guidance, teyatuleka kubeerawo nga tuwangalira ku nsi nga abatalina kyakkola. Yabeera nga atuwa direction n'atuwa kye tulina okubeera nga tukola okubeera nga tutuuka ku buwanguzi mu dduniya muno. N'abeera nga agamba nti faman tabi'a hudaaya fala khawfun alayhim wala hum yahzanun. Abali mu dduniya muno kasita banaatuusibwako guidance okuva gye ndi ne babeera nga bagigoberera ne bajja kubeera mu abo. That you will not be returned to us. Allah reminds us that we are going to return to Him. We are going to be returned to Him and be held to account. So everything that you do, you must have that constant reminder that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're going to stand before Him. You're going to stand before Him. Chasing and getting so much preoccupied with getting so much into this world is delusional. It's going to lead you astray. You're going to miss the point. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to have both the dunya and the akhirah. He wants you to find balance. Allah yagala often a balance that you know exactly what you're supposed to do here in dunya, and at the end of the day you also get what you're supposed to get in the akhirah. Because once you only focus on the dunya, then that's a very, very big loss. But because we see and we want to get, we want to achieve that, and we think that's happiness. You find people chasing what they call true happiness. But that's at the end of the day not the real happiness. The real happiness is when you connect what you have with the divine. When you connect what you intend to achieve in this dunya with the divine. Because that's at the end of the day that gives you success. But we are so much into comparison. You want this, you want that. وَلَا تَتَمَنَّوْا مَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بِهِ بَعْضُكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. Allah gives us a warning that do not compare yourselves. You find us so much depressed. Emirembe ng'omuntu gimuweddeko. Olw'okuba kyayagala tannakituukako. Sinnazimba kino, sinnazimba kiri. Sinnagula kino, sinnagula kiri. Ng'alowooza buli wanaakituukako ly'essanyu. Nja bakakasa baddu ba Allah. Si buli Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kyakuwedde nti kibeera kyengera. Oluusi kyakuwadde gwe kyolaba ng'ekyengera ebiseera ebimu kiyinza okuba nga kibonerezo gy'oli. Kyova tugamba wala tatamannaw ma faddala Allah bihi ba'dukum ala ba'd. Temweteeka mu mbeera y'okwegomba. Neegomba kino, neegomba kiri. You're so much preoccupied with that it pushes you to even forget the essence as to why you're here. Allah atujukizaga wa ilayna turja'un, ila tumugenda kuddizibwa gye tuli. So you must have that at the back of your mind, that at the end of the day, whatever I do, nina okuddizibwa wa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abeerenga akola ki? Abeerenga atubala. Asa an tuhibbu shay'a wa huwa sharrun lakum. Oyinza okwegomba ekintu nenga subhanahu wa ta'ala amanyi nti ekyo kyoyagala kibi gy'oli. In his wisdom, he knows that that's not the right thing for you, and he will take it away. You're there so much depressed, you're on tension. You're on tension, you don't know what you're supposed to do. You have even forgotten about dhikrullah. There is no remembrance of Allah in everything you do. Toiwali kujukira Allah eswala tokyasala because you're focused on getting more and more and more and more, because that's what the world tells you, that you get more, that's how much happier you become. But that's not it. That's not what it is, brothers and sisters. There must be a connection between what you have and the divine and the akhirah. Once you don't establish that connection, everything you do, you'll be like Qarun. You'll be like Qarun. There will be very, very big loss. So what do Allah tutegere connection? Eyo wakati webye twagala ni Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kyatwagayiza. Allah yatutonda kumusinza. Allah yatutonda kubeera nga tubeera mu dunya muno nga buli kyonna kye tukola kyetoolera ku Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will get lost. You will feel empty once your life doesn't have Allah in it. You will feel empty. Ojawulira nga owewuka nga Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tomutadde mu bulamu bwo. وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكَ. Allah is very clear that once you forget about me, those who neglect our remembrance, those who do not heed to the calling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكَ. They have a constricted life. Obulamu bugenda kukalubirira. And that's not to say that abasinza Allah tebayita mbizibu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows how he does his work. Omutanizo gantinze bwe nsaala ennyo sigenda kubeera nga nfuna ebizibu. Ebizibu Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yamanyi lwaki abigaba. In his wisdom, he knows. Because we get so much consumed in thinking that once I pray so much, then my problems will go away. It's not true. It's not true. If that was true, some of the richest people here would be the people who lead us. Even when you're going through challenges, because that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the world, that we are going to go through certain tribulations. Things are going to happen to us. Ebizibu bigenda kujja. Things are going to happen each and every day. There's no perfection. There's nothing like, I'm here, I'm okay, and everything is okay, and that's it. No, it's not going to happen at any one point in your life. So even when you get too much, there will be something that is missing. There will be something. Waliwo ekijja okuba nga kibulako. Allah ajja bikuwa byonna n'ate nga waliwo ekibulako. So byonna tosobola bifuna nga bw'obyetaaga. Naye bw'obissaamu Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abeera ng'akola ki? Ng'akwanguyiriza. That's why that connection with the divine is important. وَابْتَغِي فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ دَارُ الْآخِرَةِ. Connect whatever you have with the divine. Buli kyonna Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kyakuwadde beera ng'okikozesa okubeera nga onoonyaamu ennyumba ey'enkomerero, ng'onoonyaamu kusanyusa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, use it to achieve his pleasure. It could be wealth, it could be everything, but use it to get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to establish that strong connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's where true happiness lies. That I have this mal, but there is some portion in my wealth for the poor. And I have to do that. This is my responsibility. Allah bampadde abaana nino banoonyaamu akhira. Allah ampadde obugagga nino bunoonyaamu akhira. Ne buli kimu kyakuwadde bw'okinoonyaamu eby'edduniya byokka, ebigendererwa byo bwe biba nga bya dduniya, bwe biba nga bikoma ku dduniya, then that's a loss. There must be a higher goal which is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to enter eternal paradise and happiness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Whichever it is, don't forget that there is something for you in this dunya. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيا. Allah reminds us to find balance. Funa engeri gy'obikwasaganya, kimu tekikwerabiza ekirala. Don't be so much focused on the akhirah that you forget the dunya. Don't be so much focused on the akhirah that you forget the dunya. Don't be so much focused on the dunya and you forget about the akhirah. Find your balance. Find your balance, and once you attain that balance, that's how you'll achieve success. وَلَا تَبْغِ الْفَسَادَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Tunonyamu to corrupt the world. Don't look for whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. Don't misuse it. Tukikozesa kwonoona. Don't seek corruption on earth. With arrogance, with pride. Ebyo Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tabyagala. Allah ayagala ofune w'olina okwenywereza kwebyo Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bye yakuwa obinoonyezemu akhira. But once you forget that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to find that balance, you'll find yourself among those who have achieved great loss. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us that at the end of the day, we must know that kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut, that every soul must taste death. But that's not to tell you that please give up. That's to tell you that you have limited time. Allah is telling you that you have limited time. Obudde olina butono. People live. Bameka mu bakwano baffe abagenzi. How many of our friends that are no longer with us? The ones whose names we used to know. We would call them by their names. They were our neighbors. Some of them, we shared plates with them. We shared food with them. We knew them. They were our friends. They were our brothers, our parents. But they are no more. But that's not to tell you that please give up everything. No, Allah is just trying to remind you that please, you have limited time. You have limited time on earth. Use it wisely. Use it to connect with the divine. Use it. And if you misuse it, that's a very big loss. Connect with the divine. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالْخَيْرِ وَالشَّرِّ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He tests us, He gives us trials of what is good and what is bad. For whatever reason, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does that. And in His wisdom, He knows why. Akuwa ekirungi n'akuwa ekibi naye nga byonna bigezo. He's testing us. How best do we handle our affairs on trying to get back to Him when He is pleased with us, and we let us not ever forget our happy. What challenges simply because people relax and breathe. So much preoccupied with this and that. I have to do this, I have to do that. Relax. Relax. Allah knows what your portion is in this world. And you will never leave this world without getting it. Buli kimu Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kye yakutegekera ogenda kifuna. Because once we keep preoccupied with those things that are fleeting, because kijja kujja kikusanyusa kimale kigende. Manyi Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yatutonda nti n'atuwa n'ekyokulabirako mu Quran. Everything, you see it, it is so beautiful. You're excited, you want it. You're waiting for that time when you're going to harvest, sell. You have all these dreams. But once you get it, then it ceases to actually have meaning. You're excited for a very little time. فَتَرَاهُ مُصْفَرًّا, it turns yellow and nothing. It's just, omwana, abana betuwangala na babera, baba, I want you to buy me this, buy me that. Nochimugulira nachikozesa omusanga chikanyuza eri. That's exactly how life is. The things that you want, those things that you actually aspire to get, once you have them, you'll actually realize that they cease to have meaning. Once they are not fused with the divine, singa tochinonya mukusanyusa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will cease to have meaning. Whatever it is, it could be your profession. That I wanted to become this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed you, you became whatever. Now what? I wanted to buy. So what? Fatara. So some of the things that we preoccupy ourselves with, brothers and sisters, cannot hold any meaning until we fuse whatever we have with the divine. Just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, or reminded Qarun, وَابْتَغِي, seek with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, Darul Akhirah, the eternal house. Because ekitalimu Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala omala budde bwo. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. Brothers and sisters, the happiness that we are chasing can only be attained if whatever we have is purposeful and has meaning. We are intentional in everything that we do. We must be intentional. We must be truthful. Even if it is to say something, it must come from a place of taqwa. It must come from a place of understanding that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is aware of everything that I do. Is aware that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me. Whenever everything comes your way, thank Him. If it doesn't, be patient. Be patient. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ fitna. Allah is just trying you, trying to see your patience, your faith, your strength. Luqman told his son, وَاسْبِرُ عَلَى مَا أَصَابَكَ. Whichever thing that has befallen you, please, be patient. Be patient. You don't know. You don't know. You don't have Allah's knowledge. And He said He's going to trust us. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. All those things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that He's going to test us. Things are going to happen. You're going to lose your loved ones. You're going to get hungry. Things are going to happen. Some people have illnesses that they will never actually heal from. Allah naye yabagezesa n'ekyo. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ وَإِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ. But remember that it is to us that you will be returned. So brothers and sisters, we must be mindful of that. Finally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about certain people. He says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. That among the people, there are those who are so much focused on this dunya that they keep telling Allah, mpachino, mpachiri, mpachiri, mpachino, mpachino. Ninga byonna byamugamba bya dunia. Mpe ebirungi ebiri mu dunia muno. Bimpe. Mpachino. Ayi Allah njagala kuzimba, ayi Allah njagala kuvuga motoka nungi, ayi Allah njagala kino, njagala kiri, njagala kiri. Ninga byonna bya dunia. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةٌ وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. That they don't have anything at the end of the day. On the day of judgment, they will reach there and they have nothing. They had everything they wanted in this dunya. So they have no balance. All they think about is this dunya. No balance at all. And then he says, وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً. And then there are among those ones who say, Allah, give us the best in this dunya and the best of the akhirah. So whenever we are trying, that is to show you that you must establish a connection in whatever you do. If you want happiness, you want to be happy in this world, and in the hereafter to be successful, please try to establish a divine connection. That buli kimu ky'okola okinonyamu Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Buli kimu ky'okola okinonyamu kusimisa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once you lose that focus, then you have lost. You have whatever you have in this dunya, but you reach in the akhirah when you have nothing. So ask Allah to give you everything that you need in both worlds. The good life that we want, the good life that we are chasing, can only be good if it is purposeful, if it is meaningful. And the meaning you can only give it is that meaning of the divine. Bw'okiteekamu Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ajja kikwanguyiza. Naye bw'onaabeera ng'olowooza nti Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talina kubeera mu nsonga zo, baganda bange nja bakakasa nti obulamu bugenda kubeera nga butukaluubirira. So if we are trying to chase this dunya, which is not a bad thing at the end of the day. I'm not trying to say that you should focus only on the akhirah and forget about the dunya. No. Chase the dunya, whatever it is, but know that at the end of the day, whatever I have in this dunya that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me, it must help me to establish a connection with Allah and achieve His pleasure. It must help me to get into the eternal house of Jannah. So brothers and sisters, let us never ever forget that true happiness lies in understanding that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in all our affairs. Awe wali essanyu lyo teriri mu motoka, teriri mu nju, teriri mu mukyala mulongoofu, teriri walala wonna. Essanyu lyo liri mu ebyo Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala byayagala okole ng'ate obikozesa kubeera nga ofuna okusiimibwa kwe. لقد أمرنا الله بالصلاة على النبي حيث قال إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم كن لنا حافظا ومؤيدا وناصرا وقضي خوائجنا وفرج كروبنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا